Hey guys, happy first Monday of 2021. Are we going to say 2021? Are we going to say 2021 or 21? What are we going to say? What are you guys calling it? I guess 2021. That's the first time I've actually said it out loud this year, I think. I think most of the time I've just been typing, oh, thank God, it's 2021. I haven't actually said it out loud. Hello, happy Hot Mess Monday, you guys. I'm Sugar Jones. I'm a hot mess. And I was supposed to start 15 minutes ago, and I would have because, but it wouldn't be a Hot Mess Monday without a technical issue. New year, same BS. So, how are you guys doing? How's everybody feeling? Is everybody has life completely changed in the last 4 days? Is today the 4th? It is January. It is 4th, right? Yeah, today's January 4th, 2021. Welcome to Hot Mess Monday. I'm switching over to tea. This coffee is really jacking up my throat. And also, I just joined this 30-day launch with a friend of mine of just, the reboot, just the everything, get rid of coffee, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking about not doing it because it also includes getting rid of alcohol and whatever, I can live. I'll live with that. All right, you guys, if you leave me a comment, I can actually pop it up. Tell me where you're watching me from and what you're watching me on. And I'm seeing a little bit of a lag on my side. Am I coming through clearly? Are you watching me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube? Where are you watching me from? And do I look like I'm lagging? Do I look very Max Headroom-ish? And if you're my age, you know who the hell Max Headroom is. All right, I did take some notes. And usually for every chat, I have a theme. But this is just Happy New Year. We're all back and we all made it. You know what? Guys, we all made it. Wow, I actually teared up several days ago just thinking about that fact that we all, made it here to 2021. 2020 sucked. It was pretty bad, but there were some highlights, right? So if you had any highlights in 2020, put them in the notes, comment, not the notes. Leave me a comment. Comment wherever you're at, whatever platform you're on. It should be able to pop up, and then I'll be able to pop over and share that. But some weird stuff's been going on with my software that I use, so I'm not really sure that I'm seeing everybody's comments. And then also, I have to keep looking down at my laptop. Oh God, I look ghastly. This light it washes me out. Whatever. We'll work on that in 2021. How's that? So one of the things I like to do, I don't like to do the recap. I'm just like, what was your favorite thing of 2020, right? Well, it certainly wasn't being locked down, but that had its moments. And so I was sitting there thinking about it, and the only thing that really came to mind, and it wasn't really the only thing. Eventually more things came to mind, but the first thing that popped up was a camping trip that I took last summer. And I couldn't really put my finger on why it was that camping trip was something that seemed to really light my boat, light my fire, light my boat, float my boat, light my fire. Maximus, hello, Happy New Year. So I took a camping trip last summer, and I think the thing that I liked the most about it was the fact that I was offline almost the entire time. There were some times where I went into town and I got back on my cell service just to check in with my family and make sure they knew I was okay and I knew they were okay. So let's see. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, guys. Hope you didn't hear that. But anyway, so I was mostly offline for 7 days. And I think that is why I enjoyed that. That was why that trip came to mind as the first thing, the greatest thing that happened all 2020. I was offline. And I think I'm going to continue that practice of going offline on a regular basis because it was really awesome. But if you are not offline and you had to work today, the first Monday back, guess what? Slack was down. I saw all over Twitter. Everybody was like, Slack is down. Slack is down. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Slack's down. You know what? Chill out. Slack's down. Your bosses know. It's all good. We can't do anything about it. So Slack is down. The other stuff that I've been seeing on Twitter, you guys, were you around over the weekend with Bean Dad? Bean Dad is the worst dad in the world. Hold on. I posted, I took a screenshot of one of his stupidest things. So if you weren't watching, Bean Dad is a guy who decided that, you know, his daughter was hungry. She wanted something to eat. He was like, well, there's beans. There's a can of beans. And she's like, well, how do I open it? He's like, a can opener, of course. Well, rather than showing her how to use the can opener, he decided that he would make this some kind of mansplaining, like figure it out kind of lessons. Figuring it out is telling your kids to figure it out. That's not a problem. That's not where the bad part was. The bad part was he was such a jerk about it. You know, like he was sitting there telling her that, you know, go look it up, do this, do that, look at the elegance of the tool and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, what do you think this does? What do you think that does? How do you think the two connect together? 6 hours, y'all. First of all, I think it's a lie. I don't really think a 9-year-old waited 6 hours. Let's say it did happen. That guy's a big jerk because he just made a little girl who's hungry wait 6 hours to eat something because she couldn't figure out a can opener. Sometimes when I go downstairs and I open up the can opener, you know, or grab a can and grab a can opener, we have two. We have actually three. We have an electric one. We have a cranky one that goes this way. And then there's one that goes on top. I can't figure out the one that goes on top. I don't care. I'm not an idiot. I just can't figure it out. So if I knew this guy and he told me to figure it out and to look at the elegance of that, I would have punched him in the face. So I'm not really happy, but here's what he said in one tweet. He actually, this is what's hilarious, shut down his account. Snowflake. He was getting so much backlash from everybody calling him a horrible parent because he is. He's definitely a horrible parent. Yeah, Shannon, it was horrible. It was horrible to read. And halfway through, I was like, there's no way this actually happened. There's no way. If you've ever been 9 or if you've ever had a 9-year-old, that just, I don't see that happening. I would have walked out the door and gone to a neighbor's house and said, my dad's being a dick again. Are you guys, you know, like serving dinner right now? Because I'm starving. And then they would have called CPS or whatever. I don't know. One of his tweets, he said, and he quotes himself. I said, quote, the tool is made to be pleasing, but it doesn't have any superfluous qualities. Everything that moves does so for a reason. What a douchebag. Who talks to their kid like this? Oh my God. All right. She said, and I quote, I hate you. By this tweet, by the time we got to this tweet, we all hated her. And I'm sure she believes that she does. I'm sure she believes she does too, sir. I said, quote, you understand everything except how the tool addresses the can. She sighed. Oh my God. Oh my God. The guy's name is John Roderick. He has a some kind of like banjo band in Seattle, of course. Apparently he's also a racist, turns out, because you don't just get to be a bad parent on Twitter and just walk away. You get to get doxxed. Sorry, he'll be back. It'll be fine. He also has a podcast. I'm sure he and his audience are going to talk about all the good stuff that we did and all the horrible parenting the rest of us do. Whatever, that's fine. The good side of Twitter has been Dionne Warwick is on. Oh my God, she's exactly who we needed. We totally needed Auntie Dionne big time. Follow her, just, I can't even explain. She'll just get on and be like, who's this new kid, you know, and she'll just go on and on about how awesome Cardi B is and how, you know, why are you guys saying this and that? And, you know, I don't know if she really put a wig on or if she just had her niece put a wig on her on Photoshop or whatever, but that it's just been so much fun following her. And she'll be like, okay, kids, I gotta go. I'm really tired. I'm gonna be off Twitter now. Okay, I'll see you in a couple days. Okay, okay. It's like she's hanging up the phone. Okay, all right. Auntie loves you. Okay. Oh, you guys be good. Okay, I'll call you back. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Auntie Dion is who we all needed in our lives. It is so great to have her on there. Loving it, loving it, loving it. She's made Twitter a cherished thing once again because the Cheeto in charge has just made it just such a trash fire, and he's just not letting it go. He's going to make it a trash fire through the end, and we'll see what happens, because yesterday the Trump tapes came out because he was acting pretty illegally as a president and as anybody. So we'll see what happens. The Republicans will probably be like, it's fine. He was just blustering. It's fine. That's what they always do. But what's really fine is in 16 days, he won't be president anymore. I don't care what happens on the 6th, y'all. Nothing's going to happen. It's all just going to happen the way it's supposed to happen on the 20th, and he will be gone, either on his own or dragged out. Please let him be dragged out. That'll be so great. So then another thing that you might have heard about on Twitter, you might have seen a little bit of conversations about this new platform called Clubhouse. It's not really that new. Apparently it's been around since the summer, but it just kind of like peaked recently. Not really peaked, sorry. The buzz just kind of started really building in the last month. And I saw some of my friends jumping on, and I was like, all right, well, how do I get in? Who invited me? I forget who invited me. Oh, yeah, Catherine Connors, formerly known as Her Bad Mother. She's like, hey, I've got an invite. I'm like, oh, sweet, cool. So jumped in and started like popping around to all the conversations. And a lot of the people that I follow are, old internet marketing type people because they're my old friends. And I'm kind of not in that lifestyle anymore. So I was kind of liking it and kind of not, like seeing some rooms. I'm like, not really sure about this. And then I would see other rooms. So I was like, oh, my friend's talking about writing or my friend's talking about art. There are way too many rooms though, y'all, about how to Clubhouse. That's what happens whenever something new comes around. There's always something new. And then somebody within 2 days has written the compendium manual on how to. That's so obnoxious. Knock that shit off. There are some things you need to learn. They actually have that information for you through Clubhouse. You don't have to host a room on how to. Just jump in, watch how it goes, this and that. The phrase mute yourself or you're muted from Zoom has carried over to Clubhouse. Yay, that's exciting. That's just like, oh my God. Mute yourself. You're muted. I didn't hear that last part. What was that? You were muted. God, I am not going to miss that when that ends. When that goes away, I will be very, very happy. But that's one part is you got to kind of keep yourself muted because everything's, everybody's kind of, it's like a living, breathing Twitter/podcast. It's like if Twitter and your favorite podcasts had a baby. And instead of having to type or instead of having to do anything else, you jump in the conversation or you raise your hand or you get invited to speak or to moderate. Today I was a moderator. I was very excited. That was my first time. Ooh. But it's like a living, breathing conversation, which is great. The only thing, the downside, and I did mention this today, is you're not recording it. Which I always have an issue with something that's not being recorded because like, what if somebody says something that was really pithy and hilarious or just a moment that, we want to come back to or pin or whatever. The upside of it is that you can say whatever you want, kind of, pretty much kind of can say whatever you want. Other people can be recording on other devices or whatever. It's against the Clubhouse rules. So if you do record, just know that you're breaking the rules. There's some kind of planning on being able to record it for the future for podcast type people or people that do these lives like I do that might want to keep the conversation for a later date. It hasn't happened yet, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if it happens anytime soon. But for now, the conversations are not recorded, and there's no chat function. there's just only the verbal chat function, and you can't be the jerk that talks over everybody, and that's kind of a bad habit of mine. So, and may or may not work for me. But I was thinking, guys, that we might be able to have the Clubhouse Hot Mess Monday version where we all can just chat. And, maybe I end with a topic like I'm going to do today, and then we finish the conversation or continue the conversation over on Clubhouse. So my question is, and this is going back to when I first started our chat this morning, and if you're just joining me, I'm Sugar Jones. I'm a hot mess. I started 15 minutes late because of technical issues, not the hair. It really was technical issues. It was the camera. It unplugged. I wish you could see. I guess you could. Hold on. Let me show you my little setup here. I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture and I'll post it later. But I have a extender. I have like a external plug-in thing that plugs in my LAN cable, plugs in my camera, and can plug in a bunch of stuff, which is really great. Unfortunately, I unplugged right as I went to go live, and I couldn't get the camera to get back on. But anyway, okay, whatever. So I'm telling you, it's Hot Mess Monday for a reason, folks. So the conversation that I wanted to kind of continue, either over on Twitter or on Facebook or on Clubhouse or whatever, or on all, because they all have their different ways that we continue the conversation, was what was the good thing that you took away from 2020? What was one of the great things that you took away from 2020? Or what was your favorite thing that you did in 2020? So those are two different questions, right? So my favorite thing was a camping trip that I went on, and I was offline for 7 days. I went in a swimming hole. I went to a camping trip. Oh, my friend Marie is here. I love it. You've got some boss ass bitch friends when they show up and they're like, I'm here, in all caps. I love you, Marie. We're meeting later. We're meeting in an hour and a half, and she and I are going to talk about some really cool stuff that has to do with all this live stuff. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to her. So 2020, what was your favorite thing that you did? Mine was that camping trip. I swam in a swimming hole. I drove through a redwood tree in my little tiny Mini. That was the funnest thing, and I never posted about that. I'm going to have to do that. I think I'm going to make a blog post about my favorite moment of 2020 that I didn't really talk about. And what else? I went to see this giant Paul Bunyan statue that I've been wanting to see forever. It waved at me, and it makes a little noise when it waves at you because it's a really old statue. It's a big giant statue of Paul Bunyan and a big giant statue of his ox Babe. And if you guys listen to This American Life, you might have heard a piece about it one time, a long time ago. I've actually been wanting to see that giant Paul Bunyan statue for a long time. Oh, you know what, Joe, you just reminded me of something. He revisited Joshua Tree. J Tree is one of my favorite places to go. Thank you so much for reminding me about that. Guys, if you have never been, if you're in Southern California or just in the Southwest region, get in your car and drive to Joshua Tree one day. Just do it. It is such a great place. It's not like Sedona. Sedona is very different, but it has its own magical qualities. There are these giant Flintstone-sized rocks that you can just jump around and go nuts on. When did I go? I went, not this last birthday. Did I go for my birthday? I can't remember if it was the last birthday. No, not this last birthday. I went for my 49th birthday, and I did shrooms out there in the wilderness, in the wild, and I spoke to God. That's what J Tree does for you. It's amazing. So yeah. Oh my gosh, Joe, you bought your first, bought his first skateboard. Yes! Congratulations. Welcome to the crazy pack. I love skateboarding. I had my first skateboard and my first skates when I was a tyke, a little tyke. So I've always been on wheels, but I love still doing it, or like refinding that fun hobby or that fun sport that I used to do as a child. It has brought so much joy back to my life. And Joe, I welcome to the Rat Pack, I guess. I guess that's what we are now. Marie, she drove quarter way across the country in her Sprinter on a solo trip. Dude, I didn't know you were alone. Wow, we'll have to talk about that. Marie's got a killer Sprinter, and I'm jealous of it, and I want it. And if it is lost or stolen someday, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. So I was thinking that to have some fun in Clubhouse, we could have this conversation, right? So I'm popping up some little comments, I'm reading some comments, but how cool would it be to have that question and have you guys like get on and just tell your little story and just, you know, spend a good minute telling us what you did. And then maybe other people can pop in and ask the question like, how, you know, how did you get there? How did you plan? Tell me about this, tell me about that. I think it would be just, or what did you discover about yourself on that solo trip? Or what did you discover when you were eating shrooms in the middle of the desert? Good stuff. Listen, you guys, one thing I'm going to be very, very big proponent of this year is shrooms are amazing. Shrooms are awesome. And they are now legal in a couple of cities. So I'm not going to say that I did them here in San Diego. I'm just going to say maybe take a trip to Denver. Oh, they're not legal. Sorry. You just can't be arrested for it. Anyway. But the conversation we were having this morning on Clubhouse was through my friend Kate Buck Jr. Awesome. She started, so what's going on is, like I said, again, there's a lot of like conversations of internet marketers and this and that, because that's a lot of the people that we know and a lot of people that she works with too. A lot of that rise and grind culture going on, you know, there's a lot of like producers and record people and TV people too, like, you know, and they're kind of, some of them are jerks. They're just like, I don't want to be, you know, a dick, but, and whenever anybody starts a sentence with, I don't want to be a dick, but they're about to be a dick or an asshole or a jerk or whatever. But anyway, these conversations all start the same way. I don't want to be a jerk, but do this, do that, da, 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 da. Well, I don't want to be involved in those conversations. I don't want to listen to those conversations. It's just low vibration to me, you know, like, yay, this person is seeking and that's great. And they're getting information. I don't have any interest in that. I don't really have too much interest in the whole rise and grind culture. I do have to rise and pay some bills, so I'm not gonna be stupid. And I like to pop in and get a couple of little, you know, tips here and there, but it's all the same shit, you guys. It's the same shit we've been talking about. Buy the 4-hour work week, take the tips from there. It's the same stuff. Sorry, I don't. You got to spend money to make money. You got to promote. You got to do this. You got to that. Find all the latest platforms. Find your affiliates. Find your this. Find your that. It's all the same stuff. So I was really pleased this morning when a notification popped up and it said Kate Buck Jr. just opened a room called Opting Out of the Matrix. I'm like, oh, hell yes. And I clicked in and jumped into the conversation. And I was like, I have just been waiting for this conversation. So there is a huge opportunity there to have those kind of conversations in Clubhouse, because the other conversations are happening. How can you this, blah, blah, blah. I think there are more deeper, meaningful conversations that can happen there. And I'm planning to have those deeper, meaningful conversations there. So if you guys are not on Clubhouse, find an invitation, put yourself on the waiting list, actually. Just put yourself on the waiting list. There's a lot of trash, a lot of garbage out there, just like the rest of the internet. But there's a lot of good stuff too. And there's gonna be me hosting questions like, what was your takeaway from 2020? You know you wanna do it, don't mind. Negative people are out in 2020. God, I wish that was true, girl. You know it's not true. They're still around. They're going to be around forever. Another thing I like to do is futz with my hair, and that is still in 2020. I swear to God, I closed these blinds. I closed them, and I'm going to have to get blackout. I don't know. I have to do something about that window. It's a little too bright. I can't put my couch over there, and I would turn the camera around to show you, but it's a mess because that is not a full wall. There's a door, there's a partial wall, and then it comes out like this because I don't know why, and then it goes like that. If it was straight and there was no door, I would put the couch over there, and then I would have natural lighting all the time, but I don't. So there we go. So that's my, that was supposed to be something I took care of over the break. I just decided to sleep instead. So there you go. Yes, I can choose to delete people from my circles. And I'm so glad you said that, Marie, because I did. I deleted some people from my circles, and it was really hard to delete. Some people in my life have been those people that are like people that you know for a season, people you know for a reason kind of thing. And then there's the people you know for a lifetime, blah, blah, you know. And I thought this person was people I'm going to know for my lifetime kind of thing. And this person actually turned out to be people I knew for a season and for a specific reason, you know. And I just decided that there was just too much tiptoeing and too much having to acquiesce to this person's rules and not honoring my own, you know, everything, just even self-respect of sitting around and waiting for an hour for somebody to show up to something that you guys had planned. You know, I'm like sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And somebody finally pointed it out to me, like, why do you wait? I'm like, I don't know. Why do I wait? Every time, every freaking time, I would just wait. And I'd be like, well, that's just her, you know? And then finally somebody was just like, this is the same person that said, why do you wait? Was like, that's just rude. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it is rude. And so I decided and a few other things where I actually literally had been brought to tears by things that I just am not comfortable with anymore, and deleted that person from my circle. And it's sad, but in the short time that person has been removed, I've been okay with it. I haven't missed the drama. So if there's somebody that's creating some drama in your life, delete them. Marie said so. And I love what Marie has to say here too. We have so many things to accomplish and enjoy in this life, and there's not enough time to waste on non-cheerleaders. And that's the other thing too. This person did cheer me on. She did. I will say that. And that was, you know, she did support me in a lot of ways. And that was what I was hanging on to, I think. But there were other things that were just incredibly hurtful that I just had to let go, which is too bad. Anyway, 2021, here we are. So the conversation this morning on Clubhouse with Kate was opting out of the matrix. And one of the points that I made towards the end of the conversation, after we had kind of flown into what we were talking about and where everybody was from, and kind of, you know, saying hello and you know, reintroducing each other in a different space, which was really great. I talked about how back in March, when everything first happened, I said, we're not sure what's going to survive this. And I don't mean people. That's just tragic. I don't mean people. This has nothing to do with like people dying. That is a tragic thing that happened. But the things that go away other than that were not sustainable in your life, in your community, in this world, look at everything that has just fallen apart and shaken off. It's been crazy. It's been semi-insanity. It's been really hard for a lot of people whose industries have just been decimated. But what stayed behind? That is what life is about, right? Like, what stayed behind? Your friends stayed behind. Your family, hopefully everybody intact, stayed behind. Your relationships, a lot of us have had our security shaken. What in your life had to go away? What was the first thing you got rid of? Did you really need that? Did you really, So the question, the whole conversation was about opting out of the matrix. And I just came to this like poof idea that like 2020 was, everybody opted out of the matrix. The matrix it just poof, went away. Like everybody took which pill is it, you guys? Help me. Is it the red pill or the blue pill? I always forget. Everybody had the matrix destroyed. The matrix is gone. There's no matrix is bye-bye. Gone. Yeah. So now we have this chance to rebuild something else. Something better? God, I hope so. But something else for sure, you know? And we get to, just like we did back in the day, back when we first started with social media and with anything else, any other industry, at the very beginnings of anything, the people that are there get to kind of set it all up. And we're just, it's all trial and error. It's all going to be testing. Does this work? Does that work? Do I have to live here? Could I move there? Do I, have to have this? Could I choose this instead? How am I going to, anything, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Think about it yourself, but I think it's a great conversation to have right now, is that life has completely changed. Duh. Hi, obvious. But we get a chance now to rebuild everything, not just in 2021, but in our lives. So that's the conversation that I'm actually going to be having this year on Hot Mess Monday. Hot Mess Monday, the first year was kind of just like dabbling around, just trying to figure it out. Second year, I was enjoying some more conversations. Last year was all about the pandemic. This year is going to be all about rebuilding. I have a few people that I'm going to be talking to that are going to be coming on and just sharing their stories of things that have happened in their lives where they've had to rebuild over and over and over again, reinvent, rebuild, start over, start from scratch, call it whatever you want, pivot. Oh my God, call it whatever you want. But those people have had to do some crazy things, or some, reorganizing of their life, or make some really tough choices. And they still came out the other side. And we're all there right now. And I think it would be really great if we heard some of those stories this year, because we're going to need that extra little bit of motivation and inspiration. And I'm going to bring it to you here on Hot Mess Monday at 12-ish, noon-ish every Monday through 2021. Unless, of course, I go offline to go camping again, go chase sunsets, go do shrooms in the desert, whatever. But yeah, that's the plan this year. Today's little chat was a little loosey-goosey, all over the place. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you take some stuff away from it. And I hope, if you do join Clubhouse, that you follow me, because I am going to be continuing that conversation over there. So that's the conversation today. 2020 sucked, but some good came out of it. What good came out of it for you? All right, you guys, oh my gosh, and I forgot to mention who the winner is of the Humans photo book, coffee table photo book. It's CJ Willis. I don't know CJ Willis, but she's one of the folks here that has been in and out commenting, has watched replays because she's not always available when it's live. And she is the winner. So CJ Willis, I'm going to ping you and get your address and send you that beautiful, beautiful book. And then I'm also going to work on my lighting and my curtains. And I think I'm going to paint the room, you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm going to paint the room. Anyway, welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy Hot Mess Monday. I will see you guys next Monday. Bye. Oh, and Marie, I'll see you in about an hour. Okay. Bye, guys.